It ends in 48 hours. That's what people are saying. There's a couple things that are happening here very soon that people are very worried about, including the USDT collapse, supposedly, tomorrow. And we also have people kind of, the end of the quarter's coming. People are worried that Bitcoin's hit the all-time high. We also had IBIT have its first outflow week in a very long time. I want to talk about this. Don't be worried. I'll explain why later in the video. But if you don't mind, first, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. If you want to trade crypto, this is not right for everyone, but if you do want to trade crypto, if you want to leverage trade or spot trade, if you want to take advantage of some of this market volatility, there's a link to BTCC underneath the video. You can get set up in just a few minutes, and you get a 10% deposit bonus on first-time deposits. You get lower trading fees, no KYC or VPN, and you can use a lot of leverage. Just make sure you're careful with it. There's a link to this underneath the video, though. And yeah, we've been able to make some really good returns. Even with this recent market pullback, we're talking multiple 100% returns. Now, IBIT had a negative week this week. Negative 159 million. MSTR... Actually, though, we don't know how much they bought. Michael Saylor said again, disconcerting blue lines on michaelsaylor.com or saylortracker.com. So it looks like they are going to be buying some more Bitcoin. Now, some people have talked about blackout period. I've even mentioned that's been the scuttlebutt. I don't know if there's going to be this blackout period that everyone's worried about where Michael Saylor stops buying Bitcoin, or if they're going to find some way around it, with convertible debt at the money offering, something else. I don't know. We'll have to see. But even if they stop for a couple weeks, I'm sure that they're going to try to buy as much Bitcoin as possible when they get back. But it looks like they're going to be buying some more Bitcoin and announcing it tomorrow. To be clear, this is the end of the quarter this week, end of the quarter. So I'm sure there are going to be companies that are trying to kind of move stuff around. There are going to be hedge funds that are trying to wrap up for year end. So don't be surprised if there's a decent amount of volatility. This is typically a time where we don't see a lot of volatility around holidays, I mean. But with it being the end of the year, the end of the quarter, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if there's some big movements either in Bitcoin or in the stock market or some big pieces of news, something like that. According to this, FTX is going to start repayment of $16 billion in cash. Claims processing starts January 3rd, 2025. Be careful of any links to. There are going to be scammers out there trying to get you to sign up and send them crypto to get your crypto back. If this is true, though, I feel like usually these get pushed back a decent amount. But if this is true, we will see some of this money flow back into the market, which could be really good and could be a nice setup ahead of inauguration, where a lot of people think that Trump might start buying some Bitcoin or holding onto the Bitcoin for the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And believe me, if he creates a strategic Bitcoin reserve, it will be all over the place. Every financial website will be talking about this, whether it's pro or con. Now, if you've gone onto Twitter over the last week, you've seen a lot of people posting about USDT. Coinbase to delist USDT and other non-compliant stablecoins in the EU. This is going to start apparently December 30. We have a lot of people posting about the end of USDT. A lot of doom and gloomers that are saying that this is going to blow up, that it's going to depeg, that Bitcoin's going to explode, all this kind of stuff. To be clear, we don't know if a lot of EU companies or a lot of exchanges are going to delist USDT yet. We don't even know if USDT is MiCA compliant. But I see so many fudsters coming out and talking about, and some are really well known, like billionaire investors like Jason from the All In podcast saying, what could go wrong? A company that's not regulated, that has $100 billion market cap, what could go wrong? Well, the fact is, whenever there's USDT FUD, I feel like that pretty much marks a bottom for the market. People get worried about this every 6 months to a year, and USDT has been able to make it through a ton of bear markets. They've been able to make it through some of the worst of times. I think during a bull run, when when they're going out and making billion-dollar investments, they're going to be fine. People will forget about this in a week or two. Maybe they'll be delisted from some exchanges. Maybe they won't. Recently, their market cap actually did go down $1 billion. So that's something interesting, but I don't think it's really worrying by any means. I think they'll be fine. Obviously, if there was a blow up in USDT, either a DPEG or something else like that, it could cause a lot of fear in the market, but that's just a buying opportunity in my mind. Like, people always talk about Bitcoin being dead too. Like, hey, there's something that's going to go wrong with Bitcoin and then it's going to blow up and it's going down to zero. That's not going to happen. At this point, Bitcoin's hit escape velocity. I talked about yesterday how like Bitcoin's done something that companies would spend billions of dollars to do, which is create attention. They have so much organic attention. Bitcoin has so much organic attention. You can't buy that. You can try, but people forget about when you stop writing them the check if it's not something that really piques their interest. And people feel an emotional attachment with Bitcoin. The fact is, even if Bitcoin went down to even if it went down significantly, 90%, there would still be buyers. There would still be people that would hold Bitcoin that would pay for it if it was worth nothing, as like memorabilia, right? To hold Bitcoin, because a lot of people have made money. A lot of people have changed their lives on Bitcoin. The fact is, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. It's become institutionalized. I know I was just talking about going down 90%, but that's not going to happen. Bitcoin's become institutionalized. There are countries that are buying Bitcoin, mining Bitcoin. We're not going back. In my opinion, I think we'll actually see a much less deep bear market. It's going to be interesting. Like last bear market, I think we went from 69,000 down to 16,500. I think it was around 75 to 80% down. I don't think we see that again. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 50, maybe even 60%, just because Bitcoin is volatile, and if the NASDAQ can fall down 30%, I think Bitcoin can fall down more than that. Like there should be a multiple 1.5 to 2x multiple on the volatility of the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ just in 2022 fell down 30%. Obviously, if there's a big recession or depression, who knows what happens, but short of something like that, I think Bitcoin holds up really well, even in a bear market. I think it's going to hold up better than it has in the past. Keep in mind, though, hedge funds, other companies that, maybe don't have the best balance sheets, not MicroStrategy, but like some of these smaller companies or hedge funds that are buying IBIT or something like that, they will sell if they feel the need to sell. They just haven't really shown that right now. I think it's because people are very bullish on the market, but they can dump a lot of Bitcoin. So if we see drawdowns, like, don't be surprised. There are a lot of hedge funds in on this trade that are just trying to make money. They'll take profits, they'll sell, they'll panic sell, all that kind of stuff if needed. But Bitcoin's going to be around. Bitcoin's the same asset that it was during the bear market. It's the same asset that was during the previous bull market. It's just more people are interested in it, more people are buying it. And it is a bit of a reflection on what people feel like about the economy, about the stock market, this kind of stuff. They're going more risk on, and they see Bitcoin as a little bit more risk on. But as time goes on, they might realize that it's not necessarily risk on, it's risk off. A lot of people like to save in Bitcoin now. So it'll be interesting to see how this all moves forward. I'm excited. The end of the quarter means company earnings here soon. We'll see a lot of earnings announcements. We're also seeing the change in accounting rules. Don't be surprised if we have some unbelievable news in the next month. Let me know your thoughts, though, underneath the video. Really appreciate it. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one.